Hi there, welcome to ITV. My name is Nikitasha Marwaha, and on our show today we have a wonderful and very important guest from our community. Mr. Frank F. Islam is with us. He is one of the most successful businessmen and investors based in the DC metropolitan area, so we are very lucky to have him and catch up with him. He's currently the chairman and CEO of a company called FI Investment Group, and this group provides growth capital to emerging companies and manages branded and specialized funds. Previously, he was the owner, CEO, and chairman of a group called QSS Group, and it earned a revenue of $300 million, which placed him in the forefront among the entrepreneur world. And this placed him in such an important position that he earned so many awards and recognition. And just to name a few, in 1999, Ernst & Young awarded him the Maryland Entrepreneur of the Year Award, which is very, very great. And years later, he also earned the Small Business Person of the Year Award in DC. That's just to name a few of his many accolades. He's also a member of many committees and many councils, including the International Advisory Council of U.S. Institute of Peace. The Democratic National Committee has its National Advisory Board, and he's a member of that as well. And the Department of Commerce's Industry Trade Advisory Committee, he's part of that too. Now, not just a businessman, he's also a philanthropist. He's involved in many nonprofit organizations and has always time for these type of things. And if that wasn't cool enough, he's also a host of a very popular TV show on MHC Networks called Washington Current Review. But one of his latest accomplishments is that he is a co-author of a book called Renewing the American Dream, and that's what we're here to talk to him about. Mr. Frank F. Islam, it is so nice to be here with
thank
you.
you very
It is an
much,
honor,
Nikitasha.
and it's
I appreciate
so nice
that
that
very
you're
much.
here. Well, let's get with this book. So tell us a little about this book.
Well, this is the book that I wrote with my two co-authors, and the cover tells the story of this book. Cover has the Statue of Liberty, which is a shining symbol of America's hope, opportunity, freedom, and liberty.
Yeah, it came out on July 4th of this year, in fact.
Which was the great day for
America.
America.
So let's start with this. Tell me about your personal experience of finding and living the American dream.
Well, Nikitasha, I came here to this country when I was 15 years old. And I came to America with the premise that if you believe in America, if you aim high, if you work hard, you should be able to achieve your dream.
Absolutely.
And with the hard work initiative, I was able to build a business, as you said in my introduction, to $300 million. And then I sold it for several $100 million to Perot Systems Corporation in the year 2007. I created 2,000 jobs. And so I'm a living example of an American dream. And you know, starting a new business, I'm sure your audience will be interested to know, is venturing into new horizon, experimenting new environment. And in addition to that, it's getting out of your comfort zone with the optimism, ingenuity, and creativity. It is my deep desire to give back to our community and our country that I love so much. And I hope that other people can aspire from my story so that they can achieve the America's dream.
So based on your personal experiences, how would you define the American dream for your audience?
Well, everyone has their own definitions of the American dream. To me, the fundamental elements of the American dream is to get education, which is a very important, to get a job which pays a decent wages, adequate benefits, and provides the food on the table, and gives the roof on one's head, and most of all allows you to retire with honor and dignity. But it also allows you to push your envelope as much as you can so that you could be recognized and rewarded in accomplishing that task. So it's about being successful and having economic security.
Absolutely. Now, going back to this book, why did you write it?
It's a very good question. And I'll give you 3 reasons behind it. Disappointment, and I'll talk about that in a minute, concern, and a sense of responsibility. Disappointment. After the 9/11, we thought that the business leaders, the community leaders, and the politicians will come together because we live in very difficult, turbulent times in America. But we were disappointed and dismayed because of the lack of the leadership. And we decided to write this book because we felt that we all in this together. And the second point that I just mentioned it to you, we are concerned about America's conditions. The 2000 to 2009, which was the first decade of the new century, which is the 21st century, was the worst decade of decline. We lost millions and millions of jobs. We have the largest trade deficit in America. We have the largest foreclosures. People cannot pay their bills. So we were very concerned about that. And the third point that I made to you about a sense of responsibility. We believe as an American we have a sense of responsibility to make sure our voices are heard. But most of the Americans do not grasp the gravity of the current situation that we're in. They all think, that this will pass and America will get back to where it was before. We make the case in our book that America's decline is real and permanent. We must work together to reverse the decline. Remember, President Ronald Reagan once called America the shining city on the hill. That shining city on the hill has begun to slip into the shadow. We have become a divided nation. We have become a nation that is not listening, and they're not working together for the shared goal. We all of us have to work together to revitalize America. We need to build America, just not the business leaders or the community leaders or every citizen of the America have responsibility to work together for shared goal. And this book has a comprehensive integrated analysis where we are today, what the challenges that we face in America today, how do we create jobs, how do we unleash the potential of the small business and entrepreneurs who build America, and how to reignite the manufacturing sector, which used to be 50% of GDP, and how to rejuvenate middle class, which is a very important part of America's GDP and the growth in economy.
So getting into that, what roles do small business owners and entrepreneurs play in renewing the American dream? You've talked about that, so can you elaborate on it?
Good point. They play a pivotal role in America. 99% of the business in America are small businesses. They constitute 50% of the GDP. But they need a lot of help, because I've been a small business. I understand the pain and agony of getting money as a line of credit from the bank. The bank has to step up and give loan to the small businesses. I know the president has just signed the bill, which is $20 billion for small business. That will ease the credit. Once again, we need to become hotbed for America. A small business has to be an engine that drives our economy. Most of the things that we see in America today, you know who built America? Small business and entrepreneurs. People like Henry Ford, Bill Gates, list goes on and on.
Very true. What do you want the readers to take away from this book?
Well, I want readers to take away three things. Number one, it is our responsibility as a citizen of this great nation to solve our problems. Nobody else is going to come in and solve our problems. Number two, we want to work together in America for our shared ventures, but we need to be engaged, we need to be informed, and we need to be involved.
Yes.
So the purpose of writing for this book, which is my third point over here, is to lay the foundation, is to arm the citizens of this great nation for debate, for discussions, for dialogue and discourse.
Now, what do we need to do to jumpstart the economy and create jobs?
Well, that's a tough question. All the eyes upon you to figure out how do you going to jumpstart the economy. Here's the dilemma. The job machine is broken. Business is not hiring. You probably can tell from your own experience. We have the highest unemployment rate in America. Our economy is not growing, it's stagnated. The import has been surging, the export has been stagnated, and the business has close to about $2 trillion on their balance sheet. But because of the uncertainty, because of the fact the market is unsettled, they're not willing to invest. However, business have their own gripes and grievances and concerns. I feel that in this administration, as well as the Congress, as well as all the talking head that we have on the TV shows, they all have to say, stop bashing the Wall Street, stop demonizing the business, but the business needs to step up and create jobs. And there's this theory that I see in Washington that by giving out the check to the consumer, which they call the consumer consumption, will favor the growth in economy, is far from the truth. This is not right. It's the individual investor, people like me, who will create the jobs in America, and we got to find a way to help them to create a job. And that means we need to remove the boundaries and the barriers that the small business or any business have in order for them to create jobs. So here are some of the specific thinking we can do to jumpstart the economy. Number one, we talked about the small business, which was a machine that creates a lot of jobs. We need to give more lending power to the small business community. As a matter of fact, we want the big bank as well as the community bank to start lending them so they can go out and create some jobs. That's number one point. Number 2 points that I believe that because the economy is too fragile and feeble, it is important to extend the Bush tax cut for 2 years, regardless of the middle class or the people who earn more than $250,000. So I'm talking about extending it for everyone. Here is, I probably have a little bit difference of opinion with the Congress and the Democratic Party, but I am a business person. I believe we got to do the right things. Number 3, we need to extend the Bush, not only Bush tax cut we talked about. Number 3 is we need to give a payroll tax holidays for the employees and the employers. So the employers will go out and hire more people and keep the people on the payrolls. So that will create jobs. Number 4, we need to export more of our products and services to the other foreign countries. As the president said that we need to double our exports in State of the Union address, and I'm all for it because that will create jobs. And then I will make the next point that we need to reform our corporate taxes in such a way that allows the American manufacturers to buy U.S. products. So they need to build the plants domestically, and we got to stop sending jobs to overseas, and we should be proud of once again of Made in America. We should also reform our corporate tax policies in such a way that encourages and provides incentive to the American companies to bring jobs back from the overseas to America. We also need to work on education because today's students will create tomorrow's job.
Yes.
As you probably know, education is a key ingredient of economic success. Education provides upward mobility. Once again, we need to become we need to encourage students to have a college degree, to go to school.
Absolutely.
We need to encourage them. And the last thing is we need to spur investment into renewable energy, which is the solar, wind, power, thermal, and the other types of energy, and also the medical technologies. And the last thing that I would like to make, that I believe that our corporate taxes are too high against the industrial world. We need to lower that. We need to become a country of job growth and growth. And somehow we are not doing that.
Well, certainly with your involvement in all these committees, and especially through this interview, I'm sure what you say is definitely going to be taken to heart and mind with good positivity. But going on a different note here now, you have donated $300,000 to $400,000 for many candidates, who Democratic and Republican. What sparked your interest in politics? What was that initial spark? What keeps you going?
What keeps me going?
In politics.
Politics. Well, we as an Indian American have never been involved in the politics. We have the responsibility and we have a role to play in shaping the America's future. So if we don't get involved in the politics, we will not be able to have our voices heard. So as a result of that, I encourage all the people, regardless who they are, to get involved in the politics, to get involved with the primary campaign, the finance campaign. If you don't get involved, we will never be successful. So for the last 4 or 5 years, and I have seen many of the Indian community have gotten engaged and involved and being informed with politics and making a campaign, the what you call the money to the individual candidates, and that has helped. That has helped a lot. So it's very, very important for us to be engaged in politics. So that's what sparked my interest. And also I like politics. Politics is very, very important. And it's a privilege to live in a democracy.
Absolutely.
We are at a crossroad in America. We live in a pivotal period. We need to make a difference. And each and every individual can make a difference.
Exactly. Now, I had visited your website, ffislam.com, as well as the books, renewingtheamericandream.net, and on that, you and your co-authors of the book had, written some thoughts on the Tea Party movement. Would you mind telling us a little about what your thoughts are on that, the Tea Party movement?
This is a hot topic right now.
It is. Just a few thoughts on it.
Well, it was a good question. The Tea Party has ignited the passion among the conservative Republican. But there's a civil war between the moderate Republican and the conservative Republicans, and you saw that into with Christine O'Donnell's and Mike Castle in Delaware, and you also saw that as a matter of fact in Nevada with Sharon Angel with Majority Leader Harry Reid. And I'm not here to bash those two candidates, but I tell you one thing: that I like the Tea Party movement. Because I like less government, that's a great idea, less taxes, individual responsibility, and personal liberty. Those are the good points. They got to come up with a specific and sensible solution to move America forward, which means creating a global competitiveness for America. We got to be competitive in the marketplace in the world so we can sell our products and services. We need to focus on our vision of how do we create jobs, how do we put back the middle-class America that has suffered a lot in this economy back on the track so they can have a job, so they can have a house, they can send their kids to the college, and so on and so forth. And this is what I think they lack in terms of their vision. But I do like them, what they have been able to do in terms of the movement. We will see what happens after the midterm elections.
We'll see what happens.
And how effective they're going to be. But they definitely have energized and polarized the Republican Party.
Yes, definitely.
And I know this, that as a result of that, the Republican will go to vote. What the Democrats need to do is to mobilize their core constituency, which is the young voters like yourself, and also the minorities and the women. They have a tough job ahead of them.
They do. Well, we'll see what happens.
We'll have to wait and see. But I would like you to go vote.
Of course.
You must participate in a democracy.
Absolutely.
It's a privilege to vote.
Yeah. And final question now. What does now your future hold for you, and what are your final thoughts?
My future looks very bright because I will continue to write, and because writing the book has been a great privilege for me, and I really learned a lot. And so my next thing will be to write another book, and I'm not really sure what that book would be.
Well,
but
we'll look forward to it.
Maybe my life story. But my final thoughts are on that all of us have a role and responsibility to shape America's future. An American dream is still possible if we have the desire, drive, and the discipline.
Yes.
But the American dream should not be promised to the few. It should belong to all Americans. In addition to that, I do believe very strongly that if we work together for shared goals to revitalize America and also to renew America, because I believe very strongly that we are a country of dreamers and doers.
Yes.
And Americans are strong, vibrant, and resilient. I'm confident if we all work together, America's best days are ahead of us, not behind us.
Absolutely. Mr. Islam, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
You're most welcome.
You know, if you want to know more about our guest, please visit ffislam.com and more about the book, renewingthedream.net. So check those out, guys, and thank you so much for your time.
You're most welcome.
Thank you for joining us on ITV. Stay tuned because Imagination is up next.